My next guest is coming off a huge win this past weekend at UFC 253, getting that decision over Aleksa Camur. It's the Nightmare back here on the program. William Knight. William, how's it going?
It's good, man. Everything's good. How you doing?
I'm doing well, but I'm not jet lagged coming back from Abu Dhabi. You just got in last night, you were telling me.
Yeah, not even 24 hours.
But that's the commitment here. I like it. You know, doing the post-fight interviews and obviously a really big win, man. That was a really great performance. We'll get into that in a second. But first off, how was that experience just getting to leave the country, fight during the pandemic, in Abu Dhabi on Yas Island? That must have been pretty damn cool.
Man, I'm still processing it. It's like it's like a dream, man. I'm like, damn, the world shut down. I'm flying out of the country for a while. Like I was in Vegas for about 3 days. Then I was in Yas Island for a whole week. And I'm sitting here like getting ready for one of the biggest fight cards of the year. And I'm like, sheesh. All this just happened after I win my Contender Series. Like, I know I asked for the fight. I'm like, yo, I want to fight as soon as possible, and I want to fight this guy. And then boom, before the plane lands, I get the opportunity. Of course, I ain't gonna say no.
Yeah, it really came together quickly. Like we did an interview not that long ago, and then it seems like the fight was booked right after. In some ways, did that make the fight a little bit easier because you didn't have a chance to really fixate on it? It was just like, hey, you're fighting, and here's your debut. Here we go.
Man, if people check out my amateur records, you can see there were back-to-back fights. I was fighting like 2-3 times in 1 month. So it's like that's what I do. I'm not afraid to fight every other weekend if I could, but I know the world shut down and Dana White has to support his roster. So it's not like I want to sit here selfishly and just keep fighting and fighting and fighting. It's just the fact of the world was shut down for me too, and I needed an opportunity, and the fight on Contender Series was Contender Series. So I wanted to fight on the UFC card after getting my contract, and boom, 3 weeks later, I'm on September 1st. I fight on Contender Series. September 28th or 26th, I'm fighting on one of the biggest cards of the year.
It's been a good month for you, right? I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, winning the contract, then obviously getting the first UFC victory. I wanted to know, though, heading into the fight, like I said, you didn't have a lot of time. What was the game plan heading in there? Because Camur was a guy that didn't have a single loss in his record, and, you obviously came out on top.
I mean, if you look at my record, you can see the amount of people that I fought that were undefeated, and I took their wins from them. It's like people sit here from amateur to pro. That's something that I do. I like fighting guys who never lost because I feel like they drive hard. Like they got a chip on their shoulder. Like they don't want to lose. So I actually get to fight an opponent that's going to be trying other than somebody who's 4-5 and they don't care. They just want to get paid. I like the sport. I like fighting people who want to fight. And then I like fighting people who want to take hype from me. Like, oh man, I'm 5-3 and this guy has all this hype behind him. I want to beat him so I could take his limelight. Like that's the type of fights I like to be in. I like to be in scraps, dog fights, man. I like to grind people out and just break their will to fight.
And I loved in the post-fight speech too, where you were talking about that, how you fought nothing but killers on the regional scene. And, I'm sure for a short notice fight for not everyone, right? They might not be prepared for that, but because you've been in those situations, you mentioned, the level of opposition, you mentioned the back-to-backs, you felt pretty comfortable in there by the looks of it. Is that accurate?
Yeah, man. Like, again, like my first skill is wrestling. Wrestling, everybody knows a wrestler who's wrestled numerous years. I wrestled for 3 years in high school and then I did tournaments. Like I didn't have to cut weight for my weight class. I was wrestling 215, but I was also 186 and then 197 my junior year and then 202 to 208 my senior year. So I was always wrestling bigger guys, and in wrestling tournaments alone, I was winning, and I was wrestling 4 or 5 times in one day and then have to come back the next day and finish out the tournament. So the grind is there. Imagine wrestling someone for 2 minutes, then you get a little break so they could flip a coin and you're on them again, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. That's 6 minutes of grinding. And you're doing that 4 or 5 times a day. That's like what? You're doing 3 5-minute rounds. Like that's a warm up to me. So the pace and everything is there. Like to be able to grind someone out and break their mental state and just continue to go as they're fading, I'm getting more hype and more energy. Like, okay, this is cool. A lot of people in the fight were like, man, he looks slow and tired. Little do they know I was chilling. I wasn't slow or tired. Like, I was doing what I had to do. The leg kicks added up. The slams added up. I'm slamming this guy. I'm grinding him out. I'm on top position. I'm on dominant position. I put myself in a bad position for 1 split second so I can steal a dominant position. Like, to do those explosive movements take a lot, because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah, very well said. I agree. Was there anything at all about Aleksa that surprised you in the fight?
His durability, man, like, it wasn't a surprise because every time they posted on like social media and everywhere, they would always post me versing him, and it'll be a picture of him bloody, but him getting his hand raised. So I'm like, oh man, this dude's gonna be hard to put out. It looks like he has some durability. The only way I'm gonna win is if I grind him out or knock him out. I seen he's been rocked before in a contender series. I'm like, he's been rocked, but within seconds he turned it around and he's like, boom, back at it. So I'm like, yo, the only way I'm gonna win is if he can't defensively and intelligently defend himself, a submission, or I have to grind him out to the point of like him breaking. Like, I have to grind him out every minute of every round where he does his best and I just overcome it with ease. And like just show him like, yo, I'm here and I'm still gonna keep grinding you out.
And you know, your hand gets raised, judges announce that you get the first UFC victory. How do you celebrate after a win like that, especially the first one in the UFC?
So a lot of you guys don't know, but if you look at my eye, see my eye?
Yeah. Oh,
Poked
yeah.
in the eye in the first round, and y'all wouldn't have never known unless I said something. Like, I didn't take that 5 minutes because my thing is he's getting tired and I don't want that opportunity to leave. So like everyone else who takes the 5 minutes, oh, my eye, I sat there and couldn't see shit for 2 rounds. Like, I couldn't tell the judge or the ref or the doctor or nothing. I just sat there and poker face the whole fight. Well, it was so blurry and I couldn't keep it open. It was burning. So to be able to do that, he caught me with some punches that I couldn't see coming. I was so pissed off because I'm like, fuck, I can't see from that side. Like, his head kick almost caught me. I moved in the nick of time because I'm here trying to read him. And I'm like, shit, let me just move, like, use this eye. I'll stare at the center. I'll stare at his belt line, that I can see everything. And then I started to pick back up on things. But yeah, man, as you see, my eye got fucking scratched right at the beginning. That shit was bad. I couldn't even keep it open. So after the fight, my adrenaline was there. And then just before the main card happened, my left eye just swelled up and closed up. Couldn't see nothing. So I spent a day and a half with ice and cold rags on my eye the whole plane trip, the whole main card, and a little after I made it to Vegas.
Well, that sucks. How's the eye now? Like, I mean, we can see it here, but is it still recovering?
Yeah, like, is now this is the most it's been open since the fight. Like, as you see, like, that's crazy. Like, boom, like, people would sit there and be like, oh, something's wrong with him, and oh, he's fighting slow. Nah, I was in there fighting with one eye, and I was trying to keep the fight going because I wanted to entertain the people, and I didn't want the ref or the doctors to stop the fight, and then it'll become a no contest or a go off of a card, because it happened, I believe, near the end of the first.
Mm-hmm.
Or the beginning of the second, actually. Yeah, the beginning of the second, when I threw the up kick, you see when I pulled away, like when I got hit in the eye, I pull away, and I'm like, fuck. And I just kept the fight going. I was like, nah, you're good, let's keep going. Like,
does that make the victory a little bit sweeter, just knowing that you overcame this eye injury and was still able to pull out the win there? Because I think, for some fighters, like you said, they could have taken the no contest or DQ or whatever, but you persevered.
Yeah, man, like, a lot of people, they find the high road out. Like, I've been hitting the cup before. I've been hitting my eye. I've been like little stupid shit. And you don't see me complain. People grab the cage, all sorts of shit. And I just keep it going, man. Like, if we're going to fight, we're going to fight. Like, I know there's rules. You ain't supposed to poke an eye or get hit in the cup. You take your time. But nah, man, if I'm going to put pressure on you and grind you out, those seconds can change into something. Like, I've seen people recovering and come back from a loss and kill somebody, like, badly. I'm like, oh shit. Imagine if he didn't get that 5-minute rest or get hit in the cup and then use it for his advantage then, So I didn't want none of that. I just wanted to keep the pressure and the fucking fight going. That shit felt amazing. Like, it's like it's a blessing to know that I can go in, get hurt, and continue to keep going. That shit just boosts my confidence like crazy. Because this isn't the first time.
Right. And, you know, like I said, relying again on that experience, you know, where you've had to overcome adversity before. So this, you know, relying on that, I'm sure, in the fight. Now, I don't know if you saw, I noticed you were the betting underdog in this fight. Did you have any friends that won money on your fight?
Oh man, somebody bet, I think 2 or 4 grand something. All I know, they won 14,000 back. So
Wow.
it was some dude. He's like, I never stopped betting on you, and he sent me a screenshot. He made 14 grand off me, and he sent like a crying emoji. He's like, yo, I'm blessed. I'm thankful that you won. I had you in the first round. I didn't get the multiplier or something, but the fact that you won and I put all that money, I guess he put like all his money on me. Like, and then I got other guys who didn't bet on me. They bet on the other guy as sending me threatening messages.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. They're like, "Oh, you fucking steroid user! Because of you, I lost my money. You ped user." I'm like, I don't even know what ped is. To this day, I'm not even gonna go look it up. Like, I don't know what ped is, and I don't know what the other thing that they say is.
Well,
There's something
PEDs,
else.
performance enhancing drugs, but yeah,
Oh, see, I don't know what that shit is. Like
I'm
peds,
here to educate, you know, there you go.
I'm like, I don't know what half this shit is. I know steroids. That's the only one I know. Like,
Right.
it's saying something about ONG or GN something. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what none of this shit is. All I know is I eat chicken, broccoli, rice, and I drink fucking apple cider vinegar. That's the only 4 things that I consume in my body other than the thorns that they give me for my nutrition, like the multivitamins and the omega 3s and the protein and shit.
Yeah.
Like low carb, high protein mixed with high cardio. I'm running 5 to 10 miles a day with the workouts I do. I better fucking look like this.
Right, exactly. It's got to be worth something, right?
Something
Got
gotta
to get it in. So that's good.
Yeah.
So I know again this win's really fresh. You know, we're talking just a couple days after the fight. When are you looking to get back in there? Because you mentioned the eye. Probably want to give that a little bit of time just to make sure that's all healed up. But do you have sort of a plan of when you want to get back in the cage?
Yo, again, like I told you, November 28th, I'll be
Oh,
all
that's
set.
right. In the post-fight interview. That's right. Yeah.
November 28th, man. My teammates fighting on that card. It'll be nice to get on that card. Or if I don't get on that card, at least December before the year shuts out. I want to get one fight in before the year shuts out. Or I could get on November and December, depending on how November goes. I don't care. I'm just trying to stay active, man. I'm trying to
Yeah.
stay active. I don't know when I'm gonna fight again in 2021. So
No, great point. Might as well strike while the iron's hot. And in terms of an opponent, do you just leave that up to Tyson, your manager, or do you have anyone in mind in the weight class?
yeah, leave that up to Tyson. He's been
He's a
matching me up.
genius, man. That guy, one of the best coaches in the game, doesn't get enough credit.
He's been matching me up with some diverse guys, man. Guys who give me trouble and I find a way. Like I love the challenges it comes. I don't want no easy fight. I never wanted an easy fight. I don't think there's such thing as an easy fight in the UFC, but you know if you can slaughter somebody that's not in there. I won't speak on a fight that was on the card the other night. Like, like you got to give people respect and some people need to know when it's time, but you sit here and I'm like, yo, like that's crazy that you set this fight and you know the situation at hand. And I'm like, nah, I couldn't do it. Like I'm not gonna sit here and fight John Jones when at the end of his time where he's just not a fight to be made anymore. Where he's just like boom. So I don't want to disrespect anybody, but I like to have those challenges and that diversity. I like to have those problems like, oh man, it's going to be a problem dealing with this guy because it gives me purpose to strive even more and train even harder.
Well, on that note, they had the title fight on your card, Jan Blakovich against Dominic Reyes, new blood in that division. What did you think about Jan's performance? Because a lot of people were picking Reyes heading into that fight.
Yeah, a lot of people picked Reyes. Like I was thinking Reyes too, but as I've roomed next to John, like I seen what like certain things he was doing. I seen them in person. The the energy wasn't there. Like the energy was different from Dom. I felt like he didn't go in like he fought John Jones. I think he went in to reserve his gas tank, which if you knew that your gas tank was a problem, then I would have worked on my conditioning like I do. I work on endurance training. My whole camp it's not a camp. I can't say camp because I haven't stopped training for 4 years.
Yeah,
There's no
it's a lifestyle.
Like, it's a lot. Yeah, my lifestyle. I train endurance, muscle endurance, conditioning, cardio. These are things that are all interpreted inside of when I go for strength and conditioning. I'm not lifting heavy weights and shit. I can't tell you. Last I picked up 225 pounds. I'm picking up 20-pound plates, and I'm showing. I have respect. I have respect for 95 pounds, 45 pounds, 50 pounds. I have respect for it because you're sitting here repping 45 pounds in a 3-motion carry, like forward, left, lateral, whatever. You're repeating these motions over and over for 15 or 20 reps. It's the worst burning sensation of life. So I have respect for lightweights, man. I can't tell you when I deadlifted 405 or bench 405 or squat in the 600s, man. And I used to do that. I used to bench 545. I used to squat 600 pounds. I used to deadlift in the 500s. Like, I was a fucking animal, but I was fat. Like, I was almost 290 pounds doing these numbers, hitting doubles, triples, and shit like that. I even tore my chest muscle during wrestling season sometime back, my right chest. I tore that muscle and never healed right. So as I'm benching now, because the bar doesn't give any type of resistance, I damaged my chest again in Cardio Express. So I veered away from that and started dealing with dumbbells, and I just fell in love with dumbbells and kettlebells because you can control it and actually create stability and actually become stronger.
There you go. Not just talking fighting, got some fitness tips out there too, which I think is very important. You know, Michael Chandler's the same way. I know that he doesn't train with a lot of weights either. He likes to do the lower body weight stuff and then just sort of do more repetitions like you were saying here. So there you go. You're onto something, man.
Yeah, that stuff, a lot of body weight stuff. If you can't control your body weight, then yeah, that's going to be a problem. Like being a wrestler, you need to control the center of gravity. You have that low center of gravity to control a person's hips, to control their upper body, just to control them. As you've seen in my fight, I put a wrestling clinic on. Like, usually I go out there and try to be that striker and that, oh, let me finish the fight fast. But so many people questioned my conditioning from the past 2 Contender Series. I let that stupid ass mindset bother me. And then I went 3 rounds when I went the timer, and then I'm like, you know what? Go back to my normal state. I'm in this mode where I want to finish the guy. As you seen in the first round, I went into a combination. I was trying to knock him out. Then in the second round, I went for the Americana. In the third round, you seen, I know, I'll admit it, I was hesitant on the ground and pound. As you seen, I would pause and then strike, pause and then strike. I was like, I still have a heart, which my coach hates that I'm trying to be friendly to people. I still had a heart like, yo, this dude I'm on top of him, punching him like I already won, and I'm still striking him because I cannot have no action, but I'm at the same time feeling like, damn, that's fucked up.
But it was a great win, man. Great win, great performance. Really happy to see you, get your hand raised in that one. Just a well-deserved victory, especially with the short notice. William, anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to plug? I'll give you the last word here.
Yeah, man, I want to thank Crew Ed Thornton over there at Thornton's Martial Arts and Fitness in East Hartford. Carmen Hormanza over there at Manchester, Connecticut, Iron Will Fitness. I want to thank my team, everybody that helped me, everyone that supports me. Check my social media out, SSJ_Nightmare with an N, or William Knight on Facebook. Just check me out, check my journey. Everything I've been posting for the past 4 years is there. If you guys have any questions,